Hi there. So I'm here today to give you more details about IELTS. So as you all know, IELTS is basically International English Language Testing System. So this test is actually accepted worldwide in almost all the universities and also for the permanent residency programs. So as you all know, so this test actually evaluates your English proficiency into 4 different levels. It's divided into 4 different skill sets. One is, as you can see here, listening and reading, also writing and speaking. So these 4 skill sets are evaluated in this test. So I'm going to give you a complete idea about how this test works and what are the skill sets they are going to evaluate through the set parameters, in fact. And before we proceed further with this, so I would also like to tell you that this test is managed by the Cambridge University, okay, and both IDP as well as British Council are the 2 responsible bodies to conduct this test. All right, okay, so now let's see what this test actually holds inside. So this test is actually of 4 different skill sets, as I explained already. So listening test is the first one, which talks about 4 different sections. So this has 4 different sections, and each of this section has 10 questions in it. So total 40 questions that we have here, and the total time given here basically is 30 minutes. The tape time is 30 minutes, and in the paper based test the 10 minutes additional time is given to us in order to transfer the answers from rough sheet to the main sheet. All right, okay, so we also have another mode of this test here, that is computer based test, where you can take the test on the computer as well. Okay, but there in computer based test you don't get the 10 minutes time to transfer the answers. However, you get maybe about 2 minutes time to transfer or check your answers there. All right, that is how the listening is basically. And this listening section actually has different types of tapes, wherein section 1, the tape is actually about a conversation between 2 people about everyday conversations like booking a hotel room or maybe a conventional hall, okay, or maybe other purposes as well, like that. Okay, so section 2 is actually a monologue here. A monologue means where only one person talks about a particular topic, and you have to listen to the tape and answer the questions. That's how it is. Section 3 is in fact a conversation between a professor of a university and there may be 2 or 3 students who are talking about the academic topics here. That is how section 3 is. And section 4 is ideally about a monologue where a person lectures, okay, or he gives a presentation on a topic and that has to be answered. All right, okay, so the questions are mainly fill in the blanks type of questions, match the information type of questions, or there could be MCQs as well. So in section 2 you may also get maps which have to be used to answer these questions. So that is listening section. So reading section actually has 3 different parts here, 3 different sections as you can call it. So in these 3 different sections, like it is slightly different in academics and general, where in IELTS academic you have 3 long passages with 40 questions overall, and the time given here is 60 minutes completely. All right? Okay. So here in general, you basically have 5 passages, where in section 1 and 2 would have 2 passages each, and section 3 will have 1 long passage. So that is the actual difference. And not only that, even the nature of the passages in general as well as academic would completely differ. So we would talk about this in detail when we handle each of these sections one by one. All right? So stay connected to me for that. Well, next one is writing section, in fact, here. So writing section is the one which actually has 2 different parts in it. Okay, 2 different sections, as you can call it. So this one is slightly different from reading and listening, where you actually have 1 mark for each of the questions. But here in writing, for section 1, for academic IELTS, you have a descriptive writing, okay, and for general IELTS, you have letter writing. So these 2 different types of questions that we have, okay, based on the type. And section 2 is actually about the essay writing here. So we need to write an essay which is of about 250 words minimum, and task 1, this has to be about 150 words minimum, like that. So maximum, they haven't set any cap as such, but it's always advised to keep it between 250 to 300 for task 2, essay writing, and for task 1 it should be between 150 to 200 words. That's how it is. All right? So that is about writing section. So put together for section 1 and 2, like we have 60 minutes ideally. That is 1 hour for writing. And the last section, so here speaking is going to be your last section, which is either 2-3 days before or after your main test of listening, reading and writing. So in speaking, we actually have 3 different parts, and these 3 different parts consist of questions, where in section 1 you would be asked about everyday topics, okay, about your people, place, culture, hobbies, work, neighborhood, weather conditions, such kind of general questions. Section 2 is basically a presentation where you have to speak on a particular topic for 2 minutes, and you will be given 1 minute time to prepare yourself for that. Okay? And section 3 is again a discussion round where you would be asked questions about these topics that are asked in the section 2, like that. That is how section 3 is. So the time for speaking is basically 11 to 14 minutes. So you have to complete before that, and you are going to be the only one on the day of exam, and you would be with the examiner, okay, answering all the questions that are asked by the examiner, like that. So that is the overall view of the test that is called IELTS, International English Language Testing System. All right, so this is just a basic introduction of the test. So in the further videos, I'm going to come up with more information about the test, and I'm going to give you the strategies and also the ways that you need to use in order to answer these questions to get your desired band between 0 to 9, where like 0 is the lowest and band 9 is the highest usually. So it's always suggested to score somewhere between band 7 to band 8 in order to fulfill your desire to either study in an English speaking country or maybe work there. All right, so stay tuned with me. I'm going to come up with more information about the test. All right, see you in the next session then.